So I got a request to go over more so into the virus TI realm. Basically, it's a hardware synth that's also software. These two, so this and the actual machine, talk via USB. This is a single USB, and then there's a MIDI in and out. There's no through, which is unfortunate. And then there's uh, input and output, two input and output, which would be stereo. Also, there's headphone if you just use the left jack, um, and only the three parts, maximum of three parts, you can use with the USB, but it sends MIDI to all four. But if you wanted to have the fourth part go in to Ableton, you'd have to use the out cable. Um, but typically, I only use up to three channels, or I'll bounce them out and then make uh, a whole new patch, and then record it in a separate channel. But basically, yeah. So yeah, I'd recommend this to basically anyone who's serious into getting into dance music. But I just want to start setting it up with Ableton Live because that would be, kind of the challenging part. It's only dropped out on me once, and I've had it for about a year, and I use it daily, and it makes me a lot of money. Lol. So basically, you drop the actual VST window into a silent audio track, or a silent. Basically, you just turn it off, and this is just where the VST lives, and this talks to obviously the virus pretty well. So we have our three parts that we use. Remember, we can't use the fourth. We have three parts, so we need to send a separate MIDI channel, MIDI track, into each one. So we have virus MIDI 1, 2, and 3, simple. And we have all in, so it's accepting everything from my keyboard to my Microsoft keyboard, MIDI keyboard to whatever. And basically, yeah, you can see all four parts here. You can send MIDI to all four parts. I'll say that. That'll be the last time I say that. All four parts. And then MIDI 1 corresponds to the first channel. MIDI 2 corresponds to the second. And MIDI 3 corresponds to the third. And you can see it on there. Simple, right? And then the virus also sends through the USB back here 3 audio tracks, and they are in from these guys. So it's kind of tricky. The first part of the virus is sent through the first virus TI slot, right? And the second through the second, and then the third through the third. That makes any sense. Where is it? Get down here. The third from the third, right? So yeah, and basically you'll see them light up. They'll receive audio. Oh, oops, the wrong one. I gotta wait for my hard drive to boot up. My record hard drive is quite slow these days. Right, and then 3 corresponds with 3. So if you want to use a virus, you can use, the single part. That's fine. Just chuck the VST on there and just have at her. But if you want to use, especially if you have like the actual TI, you'll get like 8, or you get 16. I think it's 16. It's either 8 or 16 parts on the side here. I only have the 4 because I only have the snow. It's entry level, but it's still quite powerful. Yeah, and that's basically how you would integrate it. The TI stands for total integration. That's how you integrate it into your Ableton default project. And what else? Yeah, I guess that's basically it. And then you're good to go. And then once you have the MIDI here, you arm this to record. Then you record it, and then you can move the actual audio out. And then continue, and just you can keep on re-recording new parts over and over again until you have a happy result. But it's a lot of recording, a lot of generally a lot of recording, and a lot of you'd have to save your patches so you can go back. But it would be a lot easier if I had two of these, or this and then the TI. Maybe when the new TI comes, I will kind of have it right here, and then I'll have one of the channels as a send going into here and then out. Because there's input and output, I can have a dedicated fourth channel just for, say, reverb, and that could be a send, and it could be like a dedicated processor, dedicated sound processor, and I could daisy chain these around. It'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that's a year or two down the road, and yeah, that's basically it. And we'll be back with the second part.